Everything you believe, feel, and think is being influenced without you even realizing it. From the moment you were born, you've been surrounded by vibrations. Some you can hear, some you can't, but all of them shape your mind, your emotions, and your reality. The surprising part? You never knew this was happening. You thought your thoughts and choices were completely your own. But behind the scenes, invisible frequencies have been guiding, influencing, and sometimes even taking over your inner world. This isn't just a metaphor. It's real science, physics, biology, and control, disguised as coincidence. The electric hum around you, the way your favorite songs are tuned, even the sounds in your devices aren't just random noise. They're signals, messages, sometimes even weapons. There's a hidden world of frequencies that's been shaping you every day of your life. The real question isn't whether you've been affected. It's how deep this programming goes, and more importantly, how ready you are to unlearn it. Since your very first breath, sounds have surrounded you. But what if those sounds weren't neutral? What if the frequencies you grew up with weren't designed for your benefit, but to keep you obedient? From the lullabies sung to you as a baby to the national anthem at school, every sound you absorbed became part of your internal code, your behavior script. You didn't notice because you weren't supposed to. That's the power of vibration. It works quietly beneath your awareness, shaping how you feel, how you act, who you trust, and who you become. The oldest kind of programming isn't words, it's frequency. It's the school bell that interrupts your thoughts at the perfect moment. It's the phone ringtone that gives you a dopamine hit every time it rings. It's the catchy jingle that makes you crave unhealthy foods. These aren't just sounds, they're signals, embedded in your world not to entertain but to control your mind. And this isn't a conspiracy theory. This is how your nervous system works. Humans naturally respond to rhythm and vibration. Your heartbeat syncs with sound. Your brain waves change based on tone. Your mood can be built up or torn down by frequency. Someone figured this out a long time ago. That's why ancient cultures used chants, drums, and meditation bells to enter special states of mind. That's why temples were built with acoustics designed to induce trance. Frequency has always been a two-way gateway. It can lift your awareness or trap you in a cage. And over the last 100 years, it's been used more to trap than to free. You were born into a matrix of frequencies, a system not made to free your mind, but to keep it locked down. Take, for example, the switch in Western music, from 432 Hz to 440 Hz tuning. It seems small, just an 8 Hz difference, but it's huge. 432 Hz matches natural patterns found in nature, math, the planets, and the human body. It calms the heart and mind and aligns your breathing. But 440 Hz feels off. Subtlety, stressful, and irritating. Still, in 1953, it became the worldwide standard. Think about how much of your life is controlled by notification sounds designed to keep you hooked on apps, or emergency alerts sent at frequencies proven to cause stress and confusion. The modern world has mastered what ancient shamans already knew. If you control the sound, you control the mood. And if you control enough minds, you control the population. This isn't sci-fi, it's behavioral conditioning through sound. It happens every time you enter a store with background music, meant to influence what you buy. Every time a pop song gets stuck in your head on purpose. Every time your phone buzzes in rhythm with a system designed to drain your energy, time, and focus. But there's another level. Frequencies you can't hear. Those too low or too high for human ears. But your body still feels. Ultra-low frequencies have been tested for psychological warfare and crowd control. They can stir emotions and cause confusion without you even knowing. You may not hear these sounds, but your body and subconscious respond. You start mixing up agitation with intuition, fear with instinct, tiredness with depression. You mistake your programmed state for your natural one. This is how they control you, not with chains, but with constant, subtle interference. You've heard noise your whole life, and it's kept you from hearing yourself, from feeling your own natural rhythm. But here's the good news. When you start listening differently, everything begins to change. Awareness is the first step. And when you realize how much sound has shaped you, you ask a powerful question. What happens if I choose the frequency? Sound has always been more than just entertainment. It's an operating system, a tool for transformation, and code for consciousness. But schools don't teach this. You're taught that music is just art, sound is background, noise is annoying. What you're not taught is that harmonics, the structure of sound, can be one of the most powerful forces shaping human consciousness. Literally, harmonics don't just enter your ears, they change your brainwaves, your nervous system, your cells. They can heal or harm. They can wake up hidden powers of perception or numb your mind into passivity. It all depends on the intent and design behind the sound. Remember, all sound has frequency, but not all frequencies are equal. Some match natural laws like the golden ratio or Fibonacci sequence. These harmonic tones are found in nature, the cosmos, and Earth's resonance. Ancient cultures knew this. They used harmonics not only for music, but to shape consciousness. Temples were built with perfect acoustic resonance. Sacred chants weren't just spiritual. They were sonic codes aligning body and spirit with earth, stars, and deep layers of self that science is only now beginning to understand. These weren't superstition. They were early mind and soul technologies. Harmonics have the power to put you in a trance, boost your intuition, and open up higher states of consciousness. For example, binaural beats play slightly different tones in each ear to help your brain enter deep states where your normal awareness fades and you tap into subconscious memories, creativity, and new insights. This isn't just a theory. It can be measured and observed. The problem is those who control the main story don't want people to access these higher states. They benefit when you stay distracted, not when you grow. When the sounds around you are messy, out of tune, and chaotic, your inner world feels that too. You get anxious, lose focus, and react without thinking. That's no accident. It's the perfect setup for control. A distracted mind is easy to influence. But when you surround yourself with pure, natural harmonics, frequencies that match the earth, your brain, and your heart, you start to remember something ancient. You begin to feel a clear sense of knowing that comes from inside you, not from outside. Most people don't realize how much their basic awareness has been changed by the sounds around them. You don't even notice because you've never really experienced true silence, not the kind where your inner noise quiets down and your true self emerges. We live in a world full of artificial noise that constantly throws off our inner compass. That feeling of intuition you can't trust. It's not broken, it's just been drowned out. When you start tuning your body and environment with pure, intentional harmonics, you clear that interference and begin to reset. This reset is the key to unlocking a power most people don't even imagine. The human mind isn't just a receiver of sound, it's a resonator. When exposed to certain harmonic patterns, it doesn't just relax or focus, it transforms. There are sounds that sync the two halves of your brain, activate the pineal gland, help release emotions, and create a deep clarity that feels like entering another world. Not because sound is magic, but because sound is math, and math is the language of reality. You've probably felt this before, even if you didn't have words for it. Like when a song gives you chills, a chant quiets a room, or a tone seems to vibrate through your spine, making you feel more like yourself than you have in years. This isn't just entertainment, it's entrainment. Your body knows the sound of truth, your cells remember harmony, your consciousness remembers the codes. It's not that you're broken or blocked, it's that you're out of tune. And when you start tuning yourself back in, something changes, not just emotionally, but in how you see the world. You begin to notice things. You hear what's beneath the surface. You feel the emotions behind words, the meaning in silence. You start sensing that something ancient and intelligent is vibrating just beyond what you can see, waiting to be remembered. And it doesn't speak in words, it speaks in frequency. The real question is, are you ready to listen? You've been taught to think reality is solid, made of matter and logic, things you can touch. But what if the physical world, the ground you walk on, what you call real, isn't as solid as you think? What if it's just vibration held together by frequency? That's exactly what the science of cymatics shows us. When sound moves through things like water, sand, or air, it organizes them into perfect geometric patterns, the same shapes you see in shells, snowflakes, and flower petals. These patterns aren't random, they're sound made visible. Sound creates form. Vibration shapes matter. This isn't poetry, it's physics. In labs, it's undeniable. Strike a tone on a metal plate covered with fine sand, and the sand moves, forming sharp, ordered shapes unique to that frequency. Change the tone, and the pattern dissolves and reforms into something new. What you're seeing is a language, a secret code of reality, a vibration design that shapes the physical world. If invisible sound can move matter and give it shape, what else might it be shaping? Now pause and imagine your own body, your bones, organs, brain, made of water and vibration-sensitive tissue. What happens when it's exposed to bad noise, distortion, or harmony? This isn't abstract. Your cells respond to frequency. Your brain responds to frequency. Even your DNA, your very code, is influenced by the sounds and vibrations around you. That's why constant exposure to unnatural tones, chaotic noise, and out-of-sync environments leads to imbalance, not just emotional, but physical too. The structure of your body is being affected all the time. Whether you realize it or not, think about what that means. If vibration shapes matter, then everything from your mood and health to your thoughts reflects a field of frequencies. You're not just living inside reality, you're part of it, sending out signals and tuning it as you go. So the chaos you see in the world isn't random. It's the result of collective disharmony. Societies built on unnatural rhythms, disconnected from Earth's natural resonance, become unstable. That instability spreads through cities, screens, and minds. But there's another side. Just like dissonance creates chaos, harmony invites order. When places are tuned to natural frequencies like Earth's resonance, something amazing happens. People relax, blood pressure drops, creativity flows, thoughts slow down, sleep gets better, and the nervous system remembers its original rhythm. This isn't spiritual fantasy. It's measurable, repeatable, and has been hidden away. So why don't we build schools, offices, and cities tuned to these natural harmonics? Why aren't hospitals filled with healing frequencies? Why is public space full of buzzing, static, and noise instead of sounds proven to balance body and mind? You already know why. Harmony doesn't serve the machine. Clarity doesn't serve the system. A society in tune with itself starts asking better questions, feeling again, thinking clearly, and resisting control. The science of cymatics proves sound isn't just entertainment, it's architecture. The world around you is shaped by the vibrations inside it. And if sound can build, it can just as easily destroy. That's why propaganda, sonic weapons, and even jarring music aren't just psychological tricks. They're structural. They break down the patterns of your reality, fracture your inner harmony, and make you more vulnerable to influence. When your inner balance is shattered, you're more likely to accept things that don't make sense and start doubting your own intuition. You look for approval from outside yourself. When you do, you become more reactive, less steady, and easier to influence. But when you start living in tune with natural harmonic principles, when your internal frequencies stabilize, you begin to remember what true balance feels like. Not just emotionally, but physically and energetically too. Your perspective changes. The world feels different because it actually is. You're not changing what happens in your life. You're changing your frequency. And when your frequency shifts, everything else follows. That's the hidden secret. Change the tone and the form will follow. It's always been that way. There's a hidden danger in what we don't notice, especially when it's designed that way. Most people think mind control is loud and obvious, but the most effective control is quiet, invisible, and wrapped in comfort and convenience. It doesn't yell at you. It hums softly just below your awareness, tweaking your mood, thoughts, and urges until you believe the manipulation is your own idea. This is frequency-based control, and it's already here. They warn you about propaganda, but not about the hidden tones in your devices, the silent pulses in technology, or the ultra-low frequencies that skip your logic and go straight to your biology. Governments have studied this for decades. Military documents, long kept secret, confirm it. Frequencies can change human behavior without saying a word. This isn't metaphor, it's real, tested science. Sounds that make you anxious for no reason. Tones that shift your brainwaves into confusion, tiredness, or even despair. Weapons that can break up crowds without firing a single bullet, all using sound, most of which you'll never hear, and yet you're surrounded by it. You walk into places filled with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 5G, all working at frequencies proven to disrupt cell function. You hold phones next to your ear that emit radiation while blasting notification sounds and digital noise. You wear headphones playing music mixed at frequencies chosen for marketing, not mental clarity. Then you wonder why you feel tired, restless, or disconnected. It's not just addiction to technology, it's entrainment, and you've lived inside it your whole life. It's not just devices. Look deeper. Think about modern cities, the constant mechanical hum of public transit, the low buzz of power grids, the faint drone of fluorescent lights. These aren't just background sounds. They create a frequency field your body interacts with all the time. These vibrations don't have to be loud to work. In fact, they're more dangerous when you don't hear them, because then you don't question them. And when you don't question them, they operate without limits. We're never taught to protect our vibration. We're told to ignore it, cover it with more noise, more distractions. But your body knows. Your nervous system keeps track. Chronic stress, adrenal fatigue, and sudden panic attacks may not come from inside you, but from the frequencies around you. Your anxiety might not be psychological. It could be environmental, a reaction to a world literally out of tune. It gets deeper. The same frequencies that cause agitation can also cause passivity. They can calm you into submission, dull your critical thinking, and keep you comfortably numb. Ever wonder why you feel sleepy after scrolling meaningless content for hours but can't sleep at night? Your brain's been tuned to confusion. Your rhythm is broken. This isn't random, it's systemic. Then there's the media, not just what they say, but the frequencies they use. News often plays low, droning background sounds to raise tension. Think the headlines make you anxious? Often it's the hum underneath. This is psychological manipulation, built into what you sense but don't consciously hear. That's where real programming happens. Here's the secret most people miss. Your body listens even when you don't realize it. Your cells react to vibration. Whether you believe it or not, your subconscious records tones you never consciously hear. And those who know this, governments, corporations, media creators, have built whole systems around it. Systems designed not to inform, but to override you slowly, repeatedly, and silently. But here's what they don't expect. Awareness breaks the signal. When you start noticing these vibrations, You can separate your true thoughts from the ones implanted in you. You begin to ask, is this feeling really mine? Is this fear real or just a frequency trapping me? This kind of awareness threatens systems built on obedience, because it's the start of taking control back. And once you choose your own frequency, you become impossible to control. You were taught reality is fixed, that everything you see, hear, and touch is all there is. But that's a lie dressed up as science. The truth is, your reality is just a narrow frequency slice, a tiny part of a much bigger spectrum. Like a radio stuck on one station, your consciousness has been locked to a limited broadcast. But reality isn't one channel. It's an entire orchestra of dimensions, timelines, and states of awareness. And vibration is the dial. The ancients knew this long before science did. They called sound a gateway to the gods, a bridge between the physical and the divine. Sacred chants, mantras, and tones. These weren't just rituals, they were tools, keys. Used correctly, they didn't just calm the mind, they transformed it. They opened doors, shifted awareness, and tuned consciousness to higher levels. Not metaphorically, but literally. Your body, especially your brain and heart, responds to these frequencies like a lock responds to the right key. Once tuned, you don't just feel different, you see differently. You step outside the illusion of a solid world and glimpse the truth beyond the veil. You've probably felt this too. That deep silence during meditation or sound healing when the sense of self fades. That vibration in your chest when a certain tone shifts something inside you. This isn't coincidence. It's resonance. You're not imagining things. You're actually tuning in, syncing up with frequencies beyond everyday awareness. When that happens, you gain access, not to stuff, but to new ways of seeing, knowing, even dimensions that don't follow the usual physical rules. We've been taught to brush this off as mysticism, but science is starting to catch up. Brain scans show certain frequencies light up areas linked to intuition, memory, and awareness beyond time and space. The pineal gland, the so-called third eye, is super sensitive to vibrations. It has tiny crystals that react to pressure and frequency, meaning it can act like a biological antenna picking up info beyond your normal senses. What mystics call visions or spiritual travel might not be fantasy. They could be built into our bodies, hidden beneath the noise. But that noise isn't accidental. We're bombarded with meaningless frequencies that drown out the deeper, real signals, the ones that could reconnect and awaken us. If enough people started tuning into those real signals, the whole system would start breaking down. This isn't just about personal awakening. It's about a hidden map underneath what we call reality, a map of frequency, a design in sound. Many stories tell of people reaching altered states through chanting or sound, then coming back with new ideas and glimpses of other timelines. While mainstream science ignores this, secret military projects have been exploring it for years. Things like remote viewing and ESP, all linked to controlling vibrations. It's not magic or miracles, it's science that's been misunderstood or kept secret. Imagine entering a frequency where time slows, where your mind steps off the usual path, where you remember things you were never taught and see patterns before they happen. That kind of awareness changes everything. The future isn't fixed, but vibration lets you see possible outcomes. Higher consciousness isn't just a feeling, it's a new way of seeing the world's structure. But getting there takes intention. You have to tune yourself, be still, and learn to listen, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. You're an instrument, always have been. And like any instrument out of tune, you can forget what true harmony sounds like. But harmony is your original state, your natural setup. When you start resonating at your true frequency, you sync up with the universe's greater rhythm. You pick up the frequencies the system tries to hide. This isn't philosophy, it's how things are built. The universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in vibrations. When you learn to listen deeply, you don't just hear, you join in. That's where real access begins. That's where reality shifts. Not because you've escaped the system, but because you've learned to tune beyond it. There was a time when you didn't need apps, guided meditations, or playlists to feel balanced. You just needed to be outside, bare feet on the earth, open sky above. Silence. Not empty silence, but the silence of presence. A silence that hums, breathes, and heals. That silence had its own frequency, a natural rhythm humans evolved with, one your brain and body still respond to. It's the frequency of rest, renewal, and deep awareness, the state where your nervous system resets naturally, clarity returns, and noise fades away. But for most people today, that signal is buried, not gone. Cities built from concrete and asphalt cut us off from the Earth's field. The air is full of electric signals, Wi-Fi, 5G, cell towers, all blasting frequencies that clash with nature, and the noise never stops. From traffic to power lines, flickering lights to fake soundscapes, you live in a world constantly hitting your biology with chaos. You don't always notice it, but it pulls you off balance just a little at first. Over time, those small shifts add up to total disconnection. You might call it burnout, brain fog, fatigue, or anxiety. But underneath it all is a deeper truth. You're disconnected from the natural signal you were made to live by. Like a plant wilts without sunlight, your body wilts without harmony and resonance. And that's no accident, because when you're in tune with nature, you become aware of the rhythm. And when you're aware, you notice when something feels off, when a frequency isn't natural, when a signal is fake. That kind of awareness is dangerous in a world designed to keep you distracted. Think about the last time you truly felt connected. Calm, grounded, present in your body, tuned into something bigger than yourself. That feeling wasn't from a pill or a quote. It was resonance, a moment of coming home to your natural environment. And that's not a luxury, it's your birthright. But the system profits when you're out of sync. Because when you're out of sync, you look for fixes outside yourself. You consume, numb out, and depend on things that only treat symptoms, not the root problem, your vibrational environment. Your body is like an antenna, and nature is the original broadcast. Trees, rivers, bugs, wind, they all send their own frequencies. Together they make a living orchestra we were meant to live within. This soundscape doesn't just soothe, it heals, and it's free. That's why it had to be replaced, because nature's frequency heals without cost, aligns without a bill, awakens without asking permission. In a world built on control, that power had to be silenced. So they filled your ears with fake sounds. They covered up Earth's signal, built walls between you and the frequencies that keep you whole, and made you forget what it ever felt like. Now people sit under artificial lights, surrounded by electromagnetic noise, staring at screens that drain their focus and joy. Their bodies try to tune into a station no longer available in their environment. This isn't failure, it's interference. But the signal never went away. It's still there beneath the static, the distortion, the noise. And the moment you step away, even just for a moment, you can start to feel it in the quiet of a forest, in the rhythm of ocean waves, in the soft hum of night, away from machines. At first, it's faint, but then it's impossible to miss. That is resonance. It's the earth reminding you who you really are. Not just a consumer, user, or part of a machine, but a being tuned into a natural vibration far smarter than anything man-made. You were never meant to live out of sync. The chaos you feel inside isn't really yours. It's a reaction to an environment designed to keep you off balance. But balance is waiting for you. The earth never stopped singing. You've just been surrounded by louder, distracting noise. All you have to do is remember how to listen again. Once you do, your tuning begins, and after that, nothing sounds the same. You've been told that change comes from outside, buying things, achieving goals, chasing after more. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. The most powerful change doesn't come from adding anything. It comes from tuning in. Your reality isn't just a set of circumstances, it's a frequency. When you change your frequency, everything changes. Not just how you feel, but how the world responds to you. You were taught to look outward, but the power has always been inside you, in your energy, your resonance. Start small. Start with sound. Not just music, but intentional tones like solfeggio frequencies, 432 hertz, binaural beats, or ancient chants designed to realign you, not entertain you. These sounds cut through the noise and speak directly to your nervous system and subconscious, right to your core. You won't just feel a mood shift, you'll feel a memory because you're not adding anything new. You're clearing away distortion. Every pure tone is like a mirror showing your true, unaltered self. Breath is another key. Most people breathe just to live, not to tune. But breath is vibration, it's rhythm. When you sync your breath with sound, focus, and stillness, it becomes a tuner. Breath is more than stress relief, it's a gateway. It changes your internal frequency, steadies your energy, and opens up space where noise once ruled. In that space, you start to hear yourself again, not your worries or thoughts, but your true self, the part that knows how it all works. The biggest change isn't just what you do, it's what you allow. Silence, especially today, is an act of rebellion. It's where healing happens. It's where the system can't reach you. So turn off the noise, silence the distractions, and let your inner rhythm rise without interference. This silence isn't empty. It's full of information. The longer you stay in it, the clearer the difference becomes between who you are and what you've absorbed. Confusion fades, the signal sharpens, and suddenly your choices become clear. You start moving toward what truly fits. Conversations, food, people, places, they all carry frequency. When you're tuned in, you sense when something is off. You stop forcing what doesn't fit because your system won't allow it. This isn't spiritual talk, it's biology. A balanced nervous system, aligned frequency, a steady energy field. These aren't just ideas, they shape how you experience reality and how reality responds to you. When you realign, you don't just feel better, you attract different things, you react differently. You create from resonance, not reaction. And in that state, the world's chaos loses power over you. You stop being part of the machine because that's what you've been, even if you didn't realize it. Every time you act from fear, confusion, or imbalance, you feed the system you want to escape. That's why self-regulation scares the system, because when you're in alignment, you become unpredictable. You can't be easily provoked or controlled. You don't vibrate on the frequency of manipulation anymore. That makes you dangerous. It makes you free. Freedom isn't rebellion, it's resonance. And the more you live in your true frequency, the more you free others without even trying. Your energy heals. People feel calmer, clearer, less reactive around you. This isn't charisma, it's coherence. And it spreads like sound, light, or truth. So start with your environment. What sounds do you hear every day? The music you play, the voices you listen to, the shows you watch. Do they lift your frequency or throw it off? Look at your habits. Do they support your energy or scatter it? Do they keep you in rhythm or pull you away from it? You don't have to change everything at once. Just start listening. Choose resonance over noise, intuition over obligation, stillness over constant stimulation. This is a quiet revolution. Internal, powerful, without slogans or hashtags, just realigning your vibration. And once it starts, it never stops. Your body remembers, your mind softens, your awareness grows. You come back to something so familiar it feels like home. because it is. The static was only blocking your ears. They told you you're just one person, that your thoughts don't matter, that your energy stops and starts with you. But that's not how frequency works. Resonance spreads. One tuning fork can make another ring without touching it. A coherent energy field can calm a chaotic one. This isn't philosophy, it's physics. That's why your personal awakening is more powerful than you think. Because when people realign, not just alone but together, something big happens. The system doesn't fall through protests, but through coherence. Coherence can't be predicted or controlled. The system thrives on fear, division, noise, and chaos. But when a group of people stays grounded, clear, awake, they stop reacting the way the system expects. They stop believing the lies, stop buying the distractions, stop fighting each other. When that happens, the machine loses power. It starts to stall because it was never built for fully present people. They want you divided. That's why everything around you is designed to split your attention, confuse your nervous system, and knock you off balance. That's why media feeds you anxiety and outrage. Division isn't just political, it's vibrational. Once you see that, you realize how radical it is to stay still, to stay aware, to choose your own frequency instead of taking theirs. You've felt this before. The calm, centered energy around someone who just feels different. Not louder or flashier, just steady and clear. You feel safe, calm, honest in their presence. That's not charisma, it's synchronization. Your energy field is tuning into theirs. If one person can do that, imagine what happens when whole communities start to harmonize. That's what they can't control, because you can't outlaw resonance, ban coherence, or regulate frequency. It spreads quietly, invisibly, through presence, through intention, through the simple choice not to join the chaos. This is where the system begins to break, not through violence, but through vibration. Not by tearing things down, but by building new energy fields that make old walls irrelevant. You don't need a revolution, you need a realignment. You need to remember that your most powerful signal isn't your words or opinions. It's your frequency, your state of being. When enough people hold that awareness, the whole energy field shifts. And when the field shifts, reality changes. Systems built on control start to fail. Stories that keep us scared lose their power. But here's the catch. They won't warn you when this happens. They won't say, "We're losing control." Instead, they'll call it chaos. But it's not chaos. It's natural order coming back. Truth breaking through the fake noise. So ask yourself, what kind of frequency are you sending out? Are you repeating static, or are you sending out clear signals? Are you adding to the noise or helping tune it? Your real power isn't in controlling others, but in becoming untouchable by their control. A person who is clear and balanced can't be programmed or distracted. When enough of us remember this, the world won't need saving. It will simply reshape itself around a new tone, a tone that's always been there, waiting. It's not about finding something new, it's about remembering something old, something inside you that's been buried under noise and distractions. Vibration isn't just a secret of the universe, it is the universe. It's the code behind every pattern, every feeling, every moment of clarity you've ever had but couldn't explain. Now that you see it, you can't unsee it. You've heard the signal behind the noise, and that signal isn't strange. It's familiar. It's home. You were never meant to wander around lost, confused, half asleep. You were made to tune in, to harmonize with the world, with others, with yourself. That's why dissonance feels so heavy. That's why silence feels so rare. It's not just modern life weighing you down. It's living out of sync. Everything you are, your body, mind, breath, was made to work in harmony. You were created to remember, not just survive, but you've been surrounded by systems that make you forget. And you've paid the price, not in money, but in energy, clarity, and the deep knowing that you are more than they told you. But now you're starting to remember. You feel the shift, the quiet pull, the growing hum that tells you there's something real beyond the illusion, and that knowing changes everything. Once you realize vibration is the foundation, you stop chasing quick fixes. You stop asking for permission to feel good, to heal, to be whole. You stop handing your power over to people who don't have your best interests in mind. Instead, you look inward, tune in, and realign. And then your reality starts to echo something completely new. The world doesn't change because you fight it. It changes because you stop reacting to the chaos. You create new patterns through presence, clarity, and frequency. That's how real revolutions happen, not on screens or headlines, but quietly, as people begin to act differently, making new choices, stopping reaction, and starting resonance. It's not about running away from the world. It's about rewriting it, tone by tone, choice by choice. Every time you change your frequency, you change the energy around you, and that ripple reaches farther than you know. It touches places you'll never see and wakes people you'll never meet. That's how vibration works. It doesn't demand attention. It just moves quietly, precisely, and without stopping. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be tuned. And tuning is messy, not straightforward, not easy, but it's worth it. Because the closer you get to your natural frequency, the less room there is for lies, fear, or anything that doesn't match your truth. That's real protection, real power, not in walls or weapons, but in clear, grounded, aligned vibration. And when you live from that place, you become unshakable. Chaos might still be around, but it no longer defines you. Noise might still be loud, but you don't dance to its beat anymore. You become the tone that helps others remember themselves. You become proof that something bigger is possible, something older than control, higher than fear, something that never really disappeared, only got buried. You are the instrument, and the music is ready. If this message spoke to you, drop a comment saying, "I understood."